Hi, good evening, Scott. It's James Martell here from Jam Media. Mike McLean, who I understand you've been spending some time with talking about podcasting and local web radio. Mike actually asked me if I would mind going through your online web presence to see if there was any areas that we could help you with, and I have a number of reports that I'd like to just share quickly with you if I could, and some ideas that could really help drive new customers through the door of Bin 101 Wine and Tapas Bar. And I can see by the photographs that you guys have had taken, the place looks absolutely beautiful and literally just up the street from us. So we're down on Maple and Thrift, so just around the corner and down a few blocks. Now, what I've done is I've run a few SEO reports. I've run a few reports in the area of citations and the basically the three or four areas that we can help you with to really help you maximize your online effectiveness. Of course, the whole world has moved to the online world, and half of the people that are surfing the web these days almost are using smartphones and various mobile type devices. And I see that your website is very mobile responsive, so good on you for capturing that. What I'd like to show you though is just some areas. I guess really basically three areas: citations, reviews, and Google Plus. And I want to show you quickly how we can help you in those three areas to really take control of the search results in the White Rock and South Surrey areas for keyword phrases that really matter to you. Now, I want to compare it, if I could, to a website that we just finished the SEO work on. Actually, I shouldn't say that. We actually worked on this last year, but it's just been improving ever since. I'll show you a couple reports on that, and then we've just been rehired again by Dr. Kale here to do another campaign in another area where we're going to work on his email newsletter. Slightly different topic, but essentially Kale was in a similar boat to you guys, always looking for new people to come walking through the door. He wanted to get his phone ringing, wanted to bring, in his case, because he's a chiropractor, new patients through the door. He's, of course, a local business like you, and he's in a market size pretty similar to where we are over here on the White Rock, South Surrey area as far as size goes. So what I did with him is we took some reports, and you can see here, this is called my SEO tool. It's a tool that we use internally here to assist in gaining rankings. And we started back in October of 2013. So this is an all-time report you can see here. And when we started, the colors here represent, as you can see up here, where he was ranked. So it would be from 21 to 50 is really where he was showing up, ranking. So page 2 and 3 and 4 of Google, which really brings you slim to no traffic. So we went to work for him in a similar way that I'm proposing for you, and really helped him increase his ranking. So you can see now for the keyword phrases that really matter to him, very much in a similar way that I've run the report for you for White Rock restaurants, which I'll show you just momentarily here. He is now ranking for keyword phrases like chiropractor, Victoria, BC. 320 local searches a month, perfectly targeted audience that he's looking to attract. Chiropractor Victoria, he's number one. Chiropractors Victoria, BC, number two. And you can see number one, number three, number one, number two, and down the list it goes. And these are the Google natural results. So if I take you into a live search result, you can actually see here's his listing here, vfchiro.com, and here he is in the local results. So just to kind of explain what you're looking at here, obviously this is a Google search engine results page. These are the paid ads, and anybody, of course, can pull out their credit card at any time and pay for ads and pay per click, and that can get very expensive. Or we can earn our way into these listings and not have to pay per click, saving a great deal of money for businesses. So here he's number one in the natural results, and you can see how this is formatted slightly different than these. These all have the little pin next to them, and they show up on the map over to the left. When you mouse over them, they also pull up more of his information over on the right, as you can see, including Google reviews, the address, the phone number, and so on. So he's got the number one ranking in the Google natural results and the number one ranking in the Google local results. And if you take a look down his list here, these would be the local results. And you can see number one, number one, number one, number one, number one, number one, all the way down it goes. And you can see the local searches. So when we're dealing in market areas the size we are, of course we got to compete. We got to compete against, in your case, the other restaurants in the area, and in Kale's case, the other chiropractors in the area. But we can do it because we want to capture this absolutely perfectly targeted traffic. Now, in your particular case, what I did is I ran the keyword reports to find out what keyword phrases that would really matter to you. White Rock restaurants, restaurants in White Rock, restaurants in White Rock, BC, restaurants, White Rock, South Surrey restaurants, and so on down the list. And you can see currently you're not even showing up in any of the three search engines, not in the natural results, not in Bing, and not in the Google local results. And not surprising, it's a relatively new business I see, started in February, so this isn't surprising. But you can see we've got some decent searches coming in for people looking for White Rock restaurants. 1,300, 260, 170, 170, 170. So if we were to add all this up, we'd be up over 2,000 monthly searches for these types of keyword phrases. So what I want to show you is some few things and a few ways that we do that. Number one is through citations, and a citation is simply your name, address, and phone number. So I mentioned earlier there's basically three ways. There are three areas we need to focus on to get these rankings. Citations, and a citation would be a listing, for example, in the White Rock. Let's do this. Let's go Bin 101 Wine and Tapas Bar. And then Urban Spoon, this would be a citation. Anytime you find your name, address, and phone number on another website, another reputable website, such as Urban Spoon, this would be a citation. If we go back one and we look at TripAdvisor, this would be another citation. So you want to get up into the area of around 40 to 50, probably 50 plus really solid citations. And citations is one of the number one things that Google looks at when they're determining where to rank your business, because they find, if they can find you on that many local directories with your name, address, and phone number spelled exactly the same as you spell it on your website, then they can determine that this is actually you in all of these directories. So if we go back and we flip through them here, you can see TripAdvisor, you can see Yelp. You need to do a little work on your Yelp ranking. It looks like somebody went in dissed you. Don't worry about it, it happens. There's another TripAdvisor. You do have some great reviews in here, by the way, and that's the second thing that Google looks at. So your reviews are actually looking very strong with Urban Spoon, TripAdvisor. Yelp needs some help. Where we're missing reviews is in Google Plus. And Google Plus, they look at their own reviews at a much higher level than they do the third-party sites, and they'll actually really give you some bonus points for Google reviews. And if we do a search, for example, let me just pull one up here. We'll search White Rock, BC restaurants. And we'll pull this up here, and then if we scroll down again, these are the natural results. You can't pay for these. You have to earn our way to the top. If we scroll down a little bit, you'll see now these are the local results, and you can see Cielo's here, Giraffe, Washington Avenue Grill, 9 reviews, 12 reviews, 20 reviews, 11 reviews, 26. If you want to show up in this list, one of the things that needs to be done is you need to get 2 to 3 times more reviews, and in this particular case, Google reviews, than your competitors. So that's one thing to do. And reviews is the number one thing that Google looks at to determine where your business should be listed in this result. The second area that they look at is citations, and that's your listings in Yelp and the Yellow Pages and all of these directories. And another tool that we use to actually create that, and I ran a little citations report here for you, and we can see all of the directories that have you listed. So these are your citations. Again, name, address, and phone number. Just remember the acronym NAP, name, address, and phone number. And you can see events, find it Canada, and we have the ability to click on these. We can go view your citations. We can have them edited, modified. We can claim them for you. Lots of things that we can do to improve the citations. And again, reviews is number one, citations is number two. So you can see in this particular case, we've got 30 of them. And you can see that they give us a citation authority. Some sites are more powerful than others, giving you more brownie points, for lack of a better word, with Google. And you can see Facebook 100 out of 100, and you're doing a great job on your Facebook page, by the way. TripAdvisor also very high, so you can see very high citations. Meetup, you had a Meetup group come into your restaurant. Foursquare, and so on. So currently there's 30 citations. It would be great to get that into the area of double digits, and with most of them being very high authority. And you can see in our particular case for potential citations, we've got a list of 101 more that we could actually go out and publish your listings on. Another great benefit to the citation directories is that these pages have a tendency to rank in the results, as you seen a little while ago when I showed them to you in Google. So in addition to people being able to find you in Google, they can also find you in these through these, the yellow pages, the Yelps, the Facebooks, the Foursquares, the 411.ca, ziplocal.ca, and so on. There's literally dozens of them that you really should be in. Few of them are paid, as you can see here, but the vast majority are free. It just takes a little elbow grease and a little work to get it done. Now, one more area I just wanted to point out to you is your Google strategy, or your Google tools within the site. Of course, if we do a search for let's go back to your actual website here, if we could, back to bin101.ca, and we click through to your Google page, which is right there. This takes us into your Google profile, and these are your posts that are coming in here, and keep up the good work on adding to that. One thing though, because this is Google, we want to really pay attention to this, and there's a few areas we can work on. Number one, followers. Facebook, you have almost 1,000 of them. Google, we have 2. So we definitely want to put a strategy in place, which we can help you with, to really bolster the number of followers in Google Plus. Number two is there's some other tools in here that really should be set up. And if I do pull up a little page here called the Structured Data Testing Tool, and I grab your website URL for the home page and I drop it in here, this will tell me if things are set up, and I can tell you they're not. I've already tested it. But you can see this is what Google's pulling in, and what they're looking for are two things. One of them is called the Google Authorship Markup, which is not set up. Very important. And number two is the Publisher Markup. And just to put that into a visual for you, when we do a Google search, and let's go back to White Rock, BC restaurants here. If you have Publisher Markup set up, when we mouse over these listings here, like we did with Kale, you'll get a lot more showing up over in the right-hand column here. So there's Uli's, of course, down on the beach. You'll get a map, you'll get a pin. If we go over to, let me just see here, White Rock, BC restaurants, and typically, as I was doing a moment ago, when you mouse over these, this typically changes. Let me just do this a little bit different way. Victoria, BC chiropractor. And again, Dr. Kale here. No, it looks like I'm coming in a different way. Probably because I'm recording this, maybe affecting it. But you recall when I moused over this, that whole grouping of information, business address, Dr. Kale's smiling face, the map, all of that stuff showed up custom for him. That's Publisher Markup. That's what happens when we get listed, and we list your site through the Google Publisher Markup. So In a nutshell, there's lots of things that we can do to really help you to gather in the traffic, and then more importantly, gather in the customers into the restaurant. Podcasting actually makes this a lot easier because the web is purely content, and the more content that we have to help bolster these rankings, and there's ways that we use the content to do that. You'll find though that working with a combination of podcasting, something I've personally been doing for over 10 years with my own podcast, and publishing content every single week to your site, and all of the strategies that we're talking about really do tie together. And kind of a little bit too much to get into in the video here, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a snapshot and a little bit of a peek into what we could do to help you here. I'll leave it with you. I know you're chatting with Mike. If you guys want to pull me in on a conversation to go through this as well, I'm more than happy to do that. Another thing that happens if you do decide to engage us, we set it up in such a way that every month you get a monthly report from us. You'll see actually how things are growing. You'll see in this particular case how things have grown with kale. I see no reason at all why yours wouldn't do the same. You can see also that it didn't take a long period of time, but we moved from October, and it was probably early October, maybe through to late November. But we immediately almost went from no listings to great listings just because of the way we structured it properly. We don't use any what are called black hat techniques where everything's above board. We stick within the Google guidelines, and we can do a real good job for you and really help you bring more customers through the door. Scott, thanks so much for your time. I'll leave it with you and Mike, and good luck with your new venture, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Thanks so much. Bye for now.